Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace, and I've got a TF2 shoutcast here for you. But I'm not alone. No, I am joined by Hayden, Magicalkillacow, in this beautiful cast. You want to say something?
Hello there.
Hello? You want to say hello? Is that it? That's all you're going to give me today?
That's all I got. I'm off. Bye.
Alright, good day. Good day, good sir. Anyway, we are going to cast a match that is a Highlander. It's IKEA. How do you say it? IKEA? IKEA versus BlisterdShivers. I am told it is actually a good match.
Yeah, this, I kind of know what happens, but it's a really freaking good match.
You shouldn't have said that. Now they know you know.
Hey, spoilers right there. But casting a Highlander isn't something that happens very frequently. I'm a person that plays Highlander and doesn't really play that much sixes, and it kind of sucks that Highlander doesn't get as much coverage, and I wish it would get more coverage, but it just kind of can't, to a sense. Like, it's a lot more casual, it's a lot more laid back, it's not as action-packed as you kind of hope from competitive. Like, you have time to kind of talk to your co-caster, you know, you can kind of have a chat, whilst, you know, Payload is kind of an odd game mode cast. I mean, there's got to be people on the cart, you kind of just have to analyse what's going on and kind of give your suggestions on what they should do, and kind of see how it goes. Like, right now, I'd suggest that the heavy medic combo goes up this little cliff area, because that's usually where the heavy medic combo goes. Uber in and destroy that sentry. It's kind of a thing that you'd usually do, and then I could kind of like have a chat with Ace and, you know, kind of talk about what's going on.
Yeah, and as you are talking, and as you are casually talking, both Ubers have been popped as they do take the red level 3 sentry out. It's currently heavy versus heavy, but the red heavy seems to be able to out-strengthen or outsmart the other heavy with his bullets, as he gently puts it. And it seems that red is able to keep their defenses quite proficiently up. Surprisingly so.
Losing your sentry on the first point is definitely not going to be a decent thing to do. As soon as you don't have that sentry, you are a bit screwed. Something I've found that if the team manages to reset up on the first point, you shouldn't be able to win this game. Like, it's just obscene that somebody could lose their sentry on the first point and reset it back up to level 3. Because as soon as that sentry is down, you have a massive advantage. There is nothing stopping you from getting on that cart and pushing it. But I mean, IKEA right now just managing to stop BlisterdShivers from really doing anything.
Yeah, so it's currently a stalemate until, of course, the Ubers are ready. But we have a IKEA Uber ready. I believe it was the stock Uber, unless they have switched to crits. I don't think they have, but it looks as if they haven't. Oh, no, wait, my HUD may be broke. No, wait, it has been popped. I am so thoroughly confused right now. Oh, no, it has been popped. My apologies. I got a little bit confused there.
The Uber really didn't do much. It was just kind of, I don't really know what they used it on, but they did drop down on the car, destroyed the heavy right there. So the heavy, the engineer, and the sniper is down. Sniper definitely useful, you know, just picking off people at long range. The Uber was forced, though, for BlisterdShivers, and whilst the engineer Bacon sets up on roof, which is definitely a good place to hold after you lose first.
Yeah, now Blistered is, of course, putting out some forward aggression to hold red back as the other people on blue team are able to push that bomb over the first point, securing that point and just casually keep on going as the entire red team is slowly coming back, and it looks like they are going to go for that high ground on Badwater, one of the most important places to hold. On the second point is that high ground, and they have a level 3 sentry up in there as the blue spy tries to make something happen, but that pyro is being the pyro that the red team deserves and definitely needs as well.
You can definitely tell that this isn't one of the highest division teams. This is a Div 6 ETF2L match, but there was a demo man behind the roof, and he still is behind the roof. And whilst the team saw him, like the medic and the heavy saw him being there, they just kind of ignored him, and they are still ignoring him. He's still just sat behind here, giving him some time just to kind of try to spam out the roof, which is something you don't want to do. You want to make sure that any potential threat is taken down. BlisterdShivers spy, Carlot of 25, somehow got out of that, failing the stab on the demo man, and surprisingly managing to get out.
Yeah, it's indeed hard to see things that are invisible as the spy casually escapes his inevitable doom. And as we are currently just waiting for Blue to regroup, I do like to point out that I'm currently being a cameraman, as well as a co-caster, and that may not mean a hell of a lot to people that are just casually watching this video, but to fellow casters as well as cameramen or just people that work in the scene, it's kind of a big deal. There's a reason why casters are not cameramen at the same time. Just putting it out there. So if I do mess up,
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So Ace taking one for the team, being the cameraman, definitely important. But they do have a pretty decent hold upon the roof right now. They do have 100% Uber as well. But I mean, Ubers in Highlander aren't as important as in sixes. If you lose the Uber, it's not that big of a deal. Of course, it is going to hinder your performance, but you're still able to do what you probably wanted to do in the first place.
And as we are talking about Ubers indeed, both Ubers have been popped. Once again, it's the medic heavy combo trying to make something work. It's heavy versus heavy, and Red's bullets outsmart the blue heavy once more as both the heavy and the medic go down. And it looks like Red is holding their ground as they still have that level 3 sentry. So blue is at a significant disadvantage and they have been forced back once again. And as you were saying yourself, they are holding that high ground incredibly well. And as I stated before that high ground is so incredibly important on that second point. And as you can see, as long as that sentry holds, even though the spy has finally got a backstab on that engineer and the sap has been placed as well, but it seems that the Pyro does what he is supposed to do and saves the sentry. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, as an engineer, man, I spend a lot of time up on this roof, and it's frustrating when my team isn't with me when I'm trying to hold it. Basically, all you need up there is your heavy, your medic, and your pyro. The rest of your team can go do whatever the frick they want. They can hold up roof with you, they can make sure nobody flanks you, but as long as you're up there, and as long as you're not losing your medic frequently, you just want to be able to hold that roof. As soon as any danger comes up there, air blast, and you have the power from the heavy medic to be able to counter it. This point, and Highlander in general, isn't something you want to push out on. There's no real need to push into the attacking team. It's really all about defense, and if you hold your defense long enough, it's definitely going to be the most efficient.
Yeah, and of course, IKEA's Uber has been popped, as well as Blister's Uber has been popped. They managed to get the level 3 sentry out by some nice work by the spy. He is stepping left, he is stepping right, he gets the sentry down again, dispenser down, and as you can see, the high ground has fallen, and blue has an opportunity to make sure to get that bomb over that second point as time is ticking, but red has come back strong. They are equal in numbers, but the advantage currently on that high ground goes to red, which means blue has to retreat, regroup, and think of a better game plan so they can take over that high ground and use it to their own advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like, holding that roof is definitely important, and as soon as you lose that roof, you really do just kind of want to fall back. But sometimes, like, teams like IKEA, they are a strong team. I've played for them a few times, and they are a very strong team when they put their minds to it, and they can do what you'd expect them to do. So whilst they're working together and actually doing what they should be doing, they are extremely strong, and even in situations that they shouldn't be able to pull things off, they still do. Like, right now, the medic, the heavy, the pyro, and the soldier have all gone down, and only the sniper on BlisterdShiver is down. So, I mean, they're at a massive disadvantage. But they're still managing to kind of hold the aggression to an extent. They're slowly setting up on third point, and hopefully nothing too bad for them will happen. But I mean, this point is kind of a weird one to defend. It can either take way too long, or it can be over in a matter of seconds.
That is indeed true. I find this to be the most annoying spot, besides the last one, because the last one was, of course, turning into a stalemate. And now that blue, BlisterdShivers had, of course, the Uber advantage due to the fact that the red medic got basically killed right out of the teleporter. They are using it to put in some aggression, but they turn it around quite effectively as the heavy drops. The medic is still alive. I believe, no, the medic has been taken out as well. At least the Uber has been dropped. Wow, my English, it's also drooping, if you like. But it looks
as
like...
you can see, the red medic does have almost an Uber. And whilst I talk about this, I mean, I've been casting for like 6 hours today, some 6v6 action, and it's completely different. Highlander and 6s is completely different. The idea that you see this 100% Uber, and you'd assume, you know, this is a big advantage. But one, they're on the defending team, so they won't really use it that effectively unless something pushes into them. And two, it really doesn't matter that much. Even if the enemy team has an Uber and you don't, you can still kind of do what you'd expect to do.
But yet you shouldn't really underestimate an Uber though, because it can take out a tactically placed sentry and such, or make some severe push within their own defenses. And then of course I mean that from Blistered against IKEA. But it looks like Red is holding their ground safety. We have a blue Uber coming in, but the Air Blast Pyro is making work, keeping him at bay. The Red Uber has been popped as well, as the Pyro keeps doing what he's supposed to do, air blasting him back into safety, or away basically from that third control point. And he took one for the team, as he actually still lives, so he didn't even take one for the team. He is just being the team right now, completely countering that blue Uber as effectively as he possibly could have, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a 40% advantage for IKEA, and as I was saying before, like, you wouldn't it'd be very rare to see something like that happen in sixes. It just has to be perfect timing for one of your team to be off-classing as a pyro, because there aren't any pyros in 6v6. But with Highlander, there's one of each class, so you kind of have a wider variety. Which, as I was saying, the Uber sometimes doesn't matter as much, because you have so many more classes and a much more wider variety of what you can do with those classes, that maybe sometimes the medic isn't as important as you maybe had hoped. But IKEA are really holding this point very well. As I said earlier, you know, they have 7 minutes on the clock for 2 capture points right now, and they have about 2 minutes left before like they win with the 2 caps, and then they switch sides. If you're unfamiliar with how Payload Highlander works, it's kind of built on the stopwatch system, so you have to cap a certain amount of capture points in a certain amount of time, and then the other team has to beat those times. But as you can see, like, there's players going down left, right, and center for IKEA, but nothing's really happening. They do have an Uber, and the other team, blue team, have popped in as well, but both Ubers are just kind of equal right now. You know, nothing's really happening. Nothing really did come out of that, apart from the red team being able to push the blue team out from the cart and be able to scare them away more than anything. I mean, they killed a few people, but it really wasn't too beneficial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, nothing is about to happen, even though blue was dropping like flies that were getting shot at with massive weaponry, as the sentry drops down by, of course, the beloved spy from Blistered, as the red pyro tries to ignite and keep them at bay, and he seems to be doing that quite effectively, as red moves in and blue once again dropping as flies. They have a clear Uber advantage again, so they are ready for whatever IKEA is going to throw at them.
Yeah, and it's another thing in the sense that Highlander, I mean, you know, sixes, it's usually 5 control point. You need that Uber, you need that advantage to push into one another. However, in Highlander, they have the Uber, they're not going to go silly, they're not going to push in to the enemy team, they're just going to sit on this, make sure that they don't push the cart any further. And I mean, the Uber isn't completely necessary for the defending team. I mean, yes, it's helpful, and if they do, if the blue team does Uber in, then they can counter pop, but I mean, it's not exactly essential.
Yeah, but we have 100% Ubers on both sides, so we might be seeing another push with Ubers from Blistered. And here we go, the demo has been Ubered as well. We see another Ubered heavy from Red. Can the Stickies be the final demise of this Red Medic heavy combo? And it does look like they managed to get the heavy down. The Medic runs off freely, as blue once again also gets stopped in their tracks. We have a demo behind the enemy lines trying to make some, well, at least something happen, but they know he is there, so they are definitely wary of his location. But their emotional damage, basically, by knowing of his presence, allows blue to push up quite deceptively, as they are very close to capping the point. But we only have a 3-second clock time left, as they do manage to get the cap just in time.
And look at the people alive on the blue team. It was just the engineer, the demo man, and the spy. The demo man did go down, and we are having some respawns right now. And then the red team are going to slowly respawn and try to set up a defense. But as you can see, they did capture the point, but now they don't have a team to be able to push any further with it. So that really does just mean that, sure, maybe they'll be able to push it a bit, but for the most part, like, the red team, or IKEA, will be able to hold this pretty sufficiently.
Yeah, it was truly at the skin of their own teeth that they would manage to get that third control point, of course, as the snipers versus snipers are doing some work on this last point. And I do have to say that I've already been struggling with a few bugs, because apparently if you are on Spectator HUD and you try to remove your camera when a sniper is scoped in, you stay scoped in yourself while you're flying around. It's quite intriguing. And when I say intriguing, annoying as hell is more down to the meaning that I'm looking for. As blue is able to push forward, though.
Yeah, we see that IKEA, that's a Highlander wipe right there. You see that a lot. You see it quite commonly in lower skill level matches, but really, as soon as you get into the higher skill level stuff, you won't see Highlander wipes. And if you do, that's just embarrassing more than anything. But a lot of their team is weak. They really don't have the numbers to be able to contest this. And that is a 13-minute and 48-second time for BlisterdShiver. All 4 control points are, control points captured. And we'll see what happens for IKEA. But I do think that we do have a pause.
I believe so as well. So yeah, I guess we should just continue talking and pretend that we are entertaining, I guess.
So what are your predictions for this?
For the next round, for the time of...
They'll be able to beat it? Like, they seem like IKEA, as I said, they are a pretty strong team. So do you think they'll be able to beat that time?
Honestly, I think they might have a very good chance. If they just keep a certain momentum, I think they might very well do so. Because, of course, Blizzard had that very, very, very lucky, perhaps very skilled, depending on how you look at it, cap on the 3rd point, which cost them a lot of time. Now, I have been stuck on Badwater longer than just 13 minutes and 48 seconds. So, take everything I say with a big grain of salt. But, yeah, I think they might have a very good chance. Am I willing to say that they are able to actually get it? That is to be seen, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. But we do have setup time ending now. And it doesn't seem like anybody's moving, so... there we go. People are starting to move at this last second. And this says setup time's ended, but it just seems like setup time's just started.
Yeah, I believe there might have been a bit of a bug in the spectator here, because of course the pause was requested, I believe, as well. But we are moving, they are setting up right now, so no worry, blood will flow quite soon, as I'm also expecting a level 3 sentry once again on that high ground. There we go, pretty standard setup. We have, of course, the medic and the heavy being big friends as always. So it looks like
not setting up on that cliff is just a ridiculous thing. I've played a few matches with some of the first games against really low level teams that they were just setting up in the other little area, like on the rocks over to the right hand side, like opposite the cliff. It's just easily spammed down. It's a stupid position. Like, this area on this cliff is the standard position. If you're not going to be building there, then you're probably going to be wasting your time.
Yeah, but not. I actually find that position to be rather vulnerable as well, personally, because I know how it is to fight against a sentry on Badwater, and if you just spam some stickies up there, you have a very hard time actually defending it. Of course, they have a Pybro, so I guess good air blasts will...
Yeah, I mean, Highlander is all about strategy and teamwork, and I mean, if you're working together as a team, your sentry shouldn't go down too quickly. Your Pyro can reflect rockets. Usually people switch to direct hit to destroy it. You can reflect stickies. If they uber in up on the cliff, which is what most teams do, and it's kind of standard and they should do, and the soldier now has just switched to direct hit to try to spam it out.
I do see something interesting though. We see a blue level 3 sentry right below the tunnel. And normally you see, if I'm not mistaken, or you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I usually see mini sentries from the attacking team.
Yeah, that's usually common, but at the start, during setup time, there's actually like a little exploit type thing that you can actually build in spawn.
Oh yeah, and that just outside of the door, of course, or inside the door.
Yeah, so you can just build a level 3 sentry before the round even starts, which, I mean, it's extra damage. People choose whether either an entrance for a teleport or a dispenser. It's just kind of personal preference. But both Ubers were popped. Nothing really came out of it. Not something you want to be seeing. A failed Uber right at the start is never a good thing to see, because you really want to keep pushing as quickly as possible, and having that sentry there is just going to delay you a massive amount.
Yeah, but even so, failed Ubers or not, the red sentry has gone down by the looks of it, or he has been replaced. That might have been an accidental misclick, which buys blue some time, as both teams had some drops in their numbers, and there were some good strong pushes on that blue bomb, but it looks like red has been able to turn it around as the level 3 sentry falls. The teleporter is still up, and we might see a nice kill there on the medic. There goes
Kaiser going huge on that medic. The medic's going down. Like, the medic, you've got the heals. Even as I was saying earlier, maybe the Uber charge isn't extremely important, but the heals are definitely important, and you want to be able to make sure those heals stay up. But we do see Pling the Scout focusing on the medic for IKEA. Noroski's the medic does get taken down by the Scout's scattergun, and the scattergun is just doing a bit of damage around here. Just trying to poke off a bit of damage and just to be a bit of a nuisance.
Exactly, and we still see a level 3 sentry for blue being built, so I'm still gonna hold on that it's rather interesting to say the least. Effective for defenses against like scouts and such, but so are mini sentries depending on how you look at it. But once again, as I stated in the previous match, the high ground is very important, and we are seeing it being slowly in control of red, but blue is definitely not having it as the spy is sapping. The soldier is trying to make some work, but
yeah,
red
Scoffer
is
just completely overextending there. Like, when your team isn't pushing this roof, you don't want to be on the roof.
No, exactly. You do need your support, because otherwise it's just you against their team. That seems rather unfair.
Yeah.
For their team. No, he's good.
But we do see a spy sapping the sentry, and I don't know if the red pyro is running Homewrecker. So he is. But you know, that is still just going to be a bit of a nuisance. The sentry gun does actually go down. The pyro wasn't quick enough, which does mean there is no defense up on this roof, which means that the blue team should be able to rush up to roof and possibly take it.
Yeah, and we see a scout trying to look for an opportunity, but the entire blue team is not at the bomb, so we might be looking at a potential flank. No, the entire blue team is just gone as the soldier... No, wait, I was right. The flank has happened.
Yeah.
The Uber has been popped. Can red answer it with their own Uber? Yes, they do. We see a lot of explosions, a lot of air blast. The red pyro being MVP once again with this perfect compression blast, blasting everybody off that staircase, regardless of the Uber, keeping him at bay. But unfortunately, it seems that blue has been able to at least not overextend, but basically outplay that red team on that high ground, and it looks like they might lose it.
Yeah, Kaiser the spy actually turned up and just backstabbed the medic and walked off with it. But right there you saw the defense being reset up on roof, which is never a good thing to do. If you think about it, they got a level 1 up there, but they still got taken down. As soon as you lose your defense, you should really be falling back. Now, they won't have as strong of a defense on third point, which basically means that maybe they're going to lose this point really quickly, and then the red team won't be able to defend last because they'll try set up a defense on third, but it's just not going to work out for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to see how they actually defend the third point, because last match, of course, IKEA was able to defend the third point almost to the point of victory, as Blistered almost lost on that third point, but they were able to cap it with only 3 people, I believe, as the entire blue team just died like flies. So it's going to be fun to see if they can actually keep their momentum and capture the point a little bit quicker, perhaps. As the blue Uber comes in.
Both Ubers coming in straight away. I mean, just focusing that sentry. Usually it's in that window. It's just a typical position. It's covered by a lot of the actual building itself, and it can still shoot over there. We do see IKEA, the scout, pushing the cart just a bit, you know, hiding behind it, using it as protection. Definitely something you see a lot, just the scout. Even if it does mean suiciding onto the cart, you can still push it quite far.
Exactly.
And he's actually pushing it a long way, like the sentry is really distracted, and he is almost capped it. He actually pushed it the entire way.
That is some super scout sneaky sick play right there. A lot of S's in that sentence, but there you go. As the level 3 sentry on red is probably going to go down as well. Now it's being healed effectively by the engineer. And I still also have to point out that rifle with the red pyro still managed to hold the blue Uber back, but it looks like you don't even need an Uber to casually, well, ninja a cap by hiding behind a nuclear bomb for protection. Just listen to that sentence. He was hiding behind a nuclear bomb for protection. Basically.
Yeah, but we do see IKEA and Roski using the Uber, pushing into here. Kind of a, I don't know if it was a useful Uber. I mean, I feel like they could have pushed it even without it, you know, done a lot of damage. And it didn't really kill that many people. It just kind of scared people away. So, I mean, it wasn't really too effective. But it does mean that they are going to be able to push this cart to the corner of death, which a lot of people like to call it. Basically, it's this corner that it's difficult to push around. Sometimes teams can just easily just roll around this corner, but the majority of the time, people don't get past this, and this is where the majority of the time is. They have 7 minutes to hold this point, and if BlisterdShivers can do that, then they will be able to win the match.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be hard for Blizzard, though, no doubt about that. Blue is definitely looking for opening. We saw the blue soldier coming in from the flank, but he got, he basically got seen before he could really do some damage against the medic, as the heavy turned around and shot his face full of lead. Unfortunately for him, lucky enough for them, as they are still looking for an opening, but it's indeed the corner of death, as you were saying. And it's going to be looking hard, as both Ubers are ready, though, so we might be looking at some fantastic play. Hopefully, maybe Blue will pop that Uber a little bit too early, like they did as they were pushing the bomb to the corner of death. Perhaps they will not do that this time, and for whatever reason, may be able to win the game in the upcoming 10 seconds. Who knows?
Yeah, the Uber just wasn't enough. Like, they jumped down, but the heavy was just like a bit too early, and they couldn't get the Uber on him, so he didn't actually do that much damage. He's kind of looking for his medic, and the medic does go down. And I believe the heavy is still up. I don't know how the heavy.
He got taken out though.
But he gets taken out by a cheeky little body shot from the sniper. We do see a level 3 in right next to map room actually, which is an interesting place. I mean, it's a very forward positioning, and if it works, it works. But I mean, they really do just kind of need to push this cart a bit. Scoffer the soldier, he's kind of stuck actually really close to them with just 6 health. He's just kind of stuck on that floor area. Underneath map room, but he does get taken down by the heavy, and now it's just kind of a stalematey side of things. You know, we're waiting for something to happen, the sentry to go down, and Uber to push in. Anything really will really make this interesting, because we need something to happen.
Yeah, and we almost have a full Uber on red though, so they are ready to defend effectively. And you are saying about the engineer, of course, that forward spawn almost with the teleporter, which is quite effectively. A lot of people, you know, disregard the map room, but it gives you an opportunity to flank, and of course also to spam at the level 3 sentry from red, just below the high ground right there, hidden. And of course the blue's Uber that was popped previously was ineffective because of 2 reasons. Of course, the timing was wrong, but also once again that Pybro making some awesome play with the compression blast though. We should really not disregard that as well. I'm maybe biased for the Pyro, but he is doing some brilliant work, you know, holding their Ubers at bay.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting plays by both teams, and we see an Uber rushing in here, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, the sentry is really close to being taken down. The sentry does actually go down, but we do see a Pyro and a heavy actually just trying to defend this point as much as they can. I mean, the red Uber is still alive, but I mean, there's just a medic and a Pyro left. The medic is being focused, the medic goes down. We need just to get a couple of respawns, but the cart is so close to the end that is going to be the end of the game.
That was indeed a nice attempt from the red soldier in the last couple of seconds. Rocket jumping in, doing as much damage as he could. But they also have a level 3 sentry in the map room. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, no mini sentries, but definitely some level 3 sentries right there. So yeah, definitely an interesting match, and my prediction was kind of right. If they keep their momentum up, they are going to beat it quite easily because of the 3rd cap. And I'm still impressed that that scout was able to cap that point as if it was nothing. Just casually crouching behind the bomb.
Yeah. Oh, there's a sentry. Oh, okay. That's something you want in a scout. If you can get a scout as good as that, that is definitely going to be beneficial. I don't know if they're going to be playing another round though, so I mean, do you want to cast that one, or do you want to just wrap it up?
We could wrap it up because we have seen 2 matches.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be just fine with it. 2 beautiful matches. There were definitely some very interesting plays being made, from the scout to the air blasts, so on and so forth, to the level 3 sentries being in the map room as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Once again, my name is Ace from Wolfsgorawr.
My name is Hayden from Magicalkillacow. Link in the description.
Yeah, I'll put the link somewhere in the description indeed. And I will catch you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Take care.